In this edition of Proclaim News, I want to share with you letters from high school students. I want to ask you a question. Would the Apostle Paul use YouTube and social media? And number 3, I'm going to tell you how I made a girl cry. It wasn't on purpose, but she started crying. Hello everybody, Mr. Brown from Proclaim Ministries, helping connect faith and life. First things, I get a lot of letters from students, probably because I do this thing at assemblies where I give them a challenge to write down at least one thing they took away from assembly, or sometimes I say, what's one thing you put in your invisible backpack? And I'll do a drawing for some free t-shirts. I love getting kids' responses to see what they process. So I got some letters from students recently, and I just want to share some with you, the high school students who really contemplated and thought about the message and just really took it home, took it to heart, and hopefully are making some different choices. A few weeks ago, I read you a story about the student who did not commit suicide. He said he was going to kill himself that day, but because of the assembly, he didn't. So go back and watch that. We'll put a link in the description. You can watch the old Proclaim News of that story if you didn't see it already. But this is from a student named Samantha. She says, one thing I'm taking away from the presentation is that no matter what situation you are in, you can still decide what choices or attitude you have or to make. So if you can't control what happens to you, you can't control what you do as a reaction. I am also taking away that always respect my peers, as they can have a lot of things happen in their lives that I don't know. That's really cool. Another young lady said this: one thing I took away from Mr. Brown's assembly was that you need to make the most of every situation. Not feel bad for yourself, even if your mom and dad aren't there to see you achieve something you're passionate about. Last one I'll share with you, this young lady says this: the main thing I took away was there are so many things to be grateful for. The opportunities you have in life are greater than what you think. One very memorable thing was the measuring tape lifespan demonstration. It showed me that what I'm doing now is just temporary. I can succeed. Kalia. You know what, I just really, and I got tons of letters from students. I really enjoy reading those, and maybe I'll do some more videos just sharing some of those letters. Maybe we'll post some of them in a secret, or not a secret, but a unlisted document that you guys can share, because I think as you support this ministry, you are a part of these students' lives, that you're a part of helping me go into schools and get this message out to students. And so I'm really, very, very grateful for that. Now, the question for this week is, would the Apostle Paul use YouTube and social media? I would say yes. He wouldn't have to get on boats. He wouldn't have to get on ships and be shipwrecked. He can get the message out to the world. That's my approach. I'm on social media not because I want to be famous or popular, but I want to use this medium to get the message out to the world. So I want to ask you to do me a favor. I know a lot of times I encourage you guys to watch our videos on the app because you won't be distracted by YouTube. But I want to also ask you to watch YouTube as well, because this thing called the algorithm, the almighty computerized brain of YouTube, if you watch the total video from start to finish and leave a comment, that teaches the algorithm that, hey, this video is worth people watching, and they may share with other people as well. So you can help get the message out by simply watching and subscribing to our YouTube channel. But if you click on the video, watch the whole thing through, because then it says, oh, hey, people like this video. You also got to like it too, and you can share it. But people like this video, therefore they'll start sharing it with other people who may not subscribe to our channel. So we're really, as a team, trying to really figure out how we can maximize our outreach on YouTube. Currently on our Proclaim Ministries YouTube channel, we have almost 10,000 subscribers, but we want to maximize this outreach, because guess what? That means I don't have to travel over to Africa. I don't have to go to India to get people to hear the message that we're sending out. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll put a link in the description if you're watching this on the app, but if you're watching YouTube, please watch the total video, because that helps the algorithm share it out to other people. We want to be there because people are there. People are on these networks and they're getting all kind of messages that aren't the best. So we want ours to be suggested in that sidebar so they can click on something that can help them connect faith and life. Last, I want to tell you a story about how I made a girl cry. I think she's in 7th grade, and I didn't try to make her cry. It wasn't my intention. But after I spoke at the school, we did a little Q&A time with the 7th and 8th graders. And during that time, I get all kind of questions. Like one kid said, "What's your job?" I told him, "Hey, I speak for Proclaim Ministries, a nonprofit organization where I teach the Bible." And I said, "I also do the Choose Well program where I get to come here and speak, and we do Life with the Browns." So I get to do a lot of speaking, making videos. And so afterwards, we're hanging out with students, and one girl comes to me, she said, Mr. Brown, you mentioned that you're a Christian. And I said, yeah, I'm a Christian. Why? And she says, I don't know why I'm crying. She began to cry. And I didn't know she was crying at first. I couldn't tell, but she was actually crying. And I don't know why I'm crying. I said, I don't know either, but if you keep crying, you'll make me cry. We won't be crying together, right? And she said, I'm not even a Christian. And I said, so why are you crying? She said, I don't know. And she said, I have a lot of questions. Like, you mean God made everything? God made all of us and the earth and everything? I say, that's what I believe. The Bible teaches God created the heavens and the earth. He created all things. And I know there's a theory out there called evolution, or the Big Bang theory, where, everything came out of a bang, and all chaos brought about this structured world. And she said, yeah, it doesn't make sense. And I said, if you had an explosion, would you expect to bring an iPhone out that works very well? No, of course not. I said, that's a theory. And so the major theories are either the Big Bang theory of evolution or intelligent design. And so if we believe there's an intelligent design, then who is this intelligent designer? And so we just talked about it a little bit, and I said, you know what? Other questions, who made God? She says, I know. Who made God? I was like, it's hard for us to understand that God has always been there, because we have a beginning and an end, and all life, everything in our life has a beginning and an end, but God does not. And I said, God is the first uncaused cause. And I said, if you think about that, that's gonna hurt your head. She's like, yeah. I said, listen, I'm not trying to shove it down your throat, but I made a series of videos called Something to Think About. And so we went to her computer and showed her hellomrbrown.com/think. And I shared that with her. And I said, I want you to watch this. And I just share some of my thoughts about what I believe and why you created. Because the biggest question, or three biggest questions that human beings struggle with, is this: where did I come from? Why am I here? And where am I going? And I believe Christianity has the answers for those three questions. Those big three questions can be answered through Christianity. So check it out. So I'm looking forward to maybe hearing from her again, but I really pray that she watch these videos and really finds hope where only hope can be found, and that's in God through Jesus Christ. And so, yes, she was crying, but at the end of the time, she hopefully had more hope and more insight. And I think just having someone be able to talk to her, and the funny thing is, the question she said, you mean God made everything? And we assume if you grew up in church or you've been a believer, everybody knows that, right? But apparently not. And so I'm grateful for that conversation. And again, when I'm in school, I'm not trying to do a bait and switch. This is a one-on-one conversation, and I have a lot of those opportunities. But it's great to be in the proximity of those students and be able to speak into their lives. So please pray for that young lady, that God would draw her to Himself. And our next conversation we have will be one of maybe tears of joy, because she trusted Christ as her Savior. And if you got some students like that, or people who are kind of on the fence, don't know, hey, send them to my website, hellomrbrown.com/think, or send them to proclaimministries.com. And we have that same series called Something to Think About, where I just kind of talk about the gospel, starting with the fact you created with a purpose. So, yeah, that's the update. That's it for this week. I made a girl cry, but hopefully it's for good reason. So thank you again for supporting our ministry, all of you support. If you haven't supported our ministry already, please visit proclaimministries.com/give and donate to the ministry to help us continue to help people around the world live for God by connecting faith and life.